Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Monday, June 26, 2023. Today we're going to recap yesterday's and the rest of the weekend's MLB, WNBA, notable soccer games, Men's College World Series. Look at that. Anything going on tonight. We'll recap the results from the Travelers. We have NASCAR results, and NHL mock draft, news and notes, and best bet. Baseball will kick it off as it'll be doing for most of the summer. We'll go over the results from the weekend and look ahead to today, which is a very tiny window. Reds over the Braves, 11-10. Rays over the Royals, 11-3. Twins over the Tigers, 4-1. Pirates over the Marlins, 3-1. Phillies over the Mets, 5-1. Rangers over the Yankees, 4-2-10. Mariners over the O's, 13-1. A's over the Jays, 5-4. Brewers over the Guardians, 7-1. Red Sox over the White Sox, 3-1. Rockies over the Angels, 7-4. Padres over the Nationals, 13-3. Dodgers over the Astros, 3-2. Giants over the D-backs, 8-5. Saturday from London, Cubs over the Cardinals, 9-1. Giants over the D-backs, 7-6. Mets over the Phils, 4-2. Yankees over the Rangers, 1-0. O's over the Mariners, 6-4-10 on a walk-off home run by Ryan McKenna. Pinch hit, by the way. Jays over the A's, 7-3. Braves over the Reds, 7-6. White Sox over the Red Sox, 5-4. Royals over the Rays, 9-4. Guardians over the Brewers, 4-2. Marlins over the Pirates, 4-3-11 on a walk-off single by John Birdie. Dodgers over the Astros, 8-7. Twins lose at the Tigers, 3-2. Nats over the Padres, 2-0. And the Angels pounce the Rockies, 25-1. And then results from yesterday from London, Cardinals over the Cubs, 7-5. Twins over the Tigers, 6-3-10. Yankees over the Rangers, 5-3. Phils over the Mets, 6-7. Or 7-6 as the Mets have an all-time letdown. O's over the Mariners, 3-2. Jays over the A's, 12-1. Braves over the Reds, 7-6. Rays over the Royals, 3-1. Brewers over the Guardians, 5-4-10. Marlins over the Pirates, 2-0. White Sox over the Red Sox, 4-1. Rocks over the Angels, 4-3. D-backs over the Giants, 5-2. Nats over the Padres, 8-3. Stros over the Dodgers, 5-11 on Sunday Night Baseball. 6 games today, that's it. And they're all at night. 7 o'clock, you have the Reds and the Orioles. It's all of a sudden a good game. Brandon Williamson and Cole Irvin. This is actually a really good one between a Reds team. I know they lost their last 2, but they're great. And then the O's have been great all year. O's are favored -136. Reds are +116 over on their 10, -110 each way. Reds +1.5 is -164. O's -1.5 is +136. I'm going to go full game over, believe it or not. Brewers Mets from City. Colin Rea and Justin Verlander. Mets -180. Brewers +152 over on their 8.5. Overs -112. Unders -108. Brewers +1.5 is -126. Mets -1.5 is +105. I'm taking the Brewers. The Mets are a mess, as we know. And they're way overvalued because of the big-name pitchers they're trotting out there that are both borderline washed up. And referring to Verlander and Max Scherzer. 7:20 of the Twins and the Braves. Sonny Gray and Spencer Strider. Braves -10. Twins +176 over on their 8. Overs -118. Unders -104. Twins +1.5 is -111. Braves -1.5 is -108. Very hard one. I'm going to take the Twins on the run line +1.5 at -111. I think this is a close game. 8 o'clock, Tigers, Rangers. Matt Boyd and Andrew Heaney. Rangers -200. Tigers +168 over on their 9. Overs -106. Unders -114. Tigers +1.5 is -122. Rangers -1.5 is +102. Tough one. The Rangers are just really fun to watch. I know they dropped 2 out of 3 to the judgeless Yankees, which is not good. But I think they bounce back in a big way offensively. So I'm going over 5 runs at -102. 9:30, White Sox Angels. Dylan Cease and Reed Detmers. Angels -146. White Sox +124 over on their 8.5. Overs -102 and there's -120. Chicago +1.5 is -154. Angels -1.5 is +128. Full game over. That's low. Nats Mariners. Last but not least, Trevor Williams and Luis Castillo. M's minus 260, Nats plus 215, over under 8. Overs minus 105, others minus 115. Nats plus 1/2 is plus 104. Mariners minus 1/2 is minus 125. For this one, I'm going to go with the full game under minus 115. All right. Now we move on to the WNBA. We'll recap the weekend's games. And we actually have a Monday game or games. Friday, Liberty killed the Dream, 110-80. Sparks over the Wings, 76-74, Commissioner's Cup. Saturday, Aces over the Fever, 101-88. And then Commissioner's Cup, Storm over the Mercury, 97-74. Sunday, Commissioner's Cup, Liberty over the Mystics, 89-88 in overtime. That was a classic. Commissioner's Cup, Sun over the Sky, 96-72. And then the Sparks over the Wings, 93-83. One game tonight, 10 o'clock on CBS Sports Network. You have the Fever and the Aces. Of course, we have an overvalued team against the spread in the Aces. They're 15.5-point favorites, so it's 172.5. But them and the Liberty have been covering the numbers lately. So for this one, I'm actually going to go full game under 172.5 at minus 114. All right, now move on to soccer. We will go over all the notable results from the weekend and look ahead to anything important today. We'll start with MLS. Saturday, Charlotte and CF Montreal, 0-0 draw. Columbus over Nashville, 2-0. DC United over Cincinnati, 3-0. New England over Toronto, 2-1. Red Bulls over Atlanta, 4-0. Philly over Miami, 4-1. Chicago over KC, 1-0. Austin over Houston, 3-0. Colorado and the Galaxy, 0-0 draw. Mini and Salt Lake, 2-2 draw. Vancouver over LAFC, 3-2. Portland, NYCFC, 1-1 draw. St. Louis over San Jose, 2-1. And Seattle and Orlando, 0-0 draw. No MLS until Saturday. So Gold Cup from the weekend. U.S. and Jamaica, 1-1 draw from Saturday. Sunday, Trenton Tobago over St. Kitts, 3-0. Haiti over Qatar, 2-1. And Mexico over Honduras, 4-0. Two games, El Salvador and Martinique. We should have odds for the game. Yes, we do. El Salvador's minus 70, Martinique's plus 490. The draw's plus 240. El Salvador's big favored, but they haven't won in their last 5. I'm going to take the juicy underdog in Martinique at plus 490 to make a surprising upset. And then 8:30, Costa Rica and Panama. Costa Rica plus 240, Panama plus 120, draws plus 190. I'm going to go here with the draw. The NWSL Friday, Portland over Washington 4-2. Saturday, North Carolina over Louisville 1-0. KC over Orlando 2-1. And All Rain over San Diego 2-1. And Sunday, Gotham over Chicago 2-1. And Angel City Houston 0-0 draw. Euro under 21. No games today. We don't resume that until tomorrow. So from the weekend, Saturday, Belgium and Georgia 2-2 draw. Netherlands, Portugal 1-1 draw. Ukraine over Romania 1-0. Spain over Croatia 1-0. And then Sunday, Czech Republic over Germany 2-1. England over Israel 2-0. Italy over Swiss 3-2. And France over Norway 1-0. And that is kind of it for soccer. We really didn't have a big weekend other than CONCACAF. So a lot of stuff is coming in August for soccer. So, that's that. And on Friday we have Liga MX, so that is quite interesting. All right, Men's College World Series. We've had 2 games so far. We'll recap them both. And I believe Game 3 is tonight. It is Saturday. Number 5 LSU over number 2 Florida, 4-3-11. And then yesterday, number 2 Florida lays the hammer on number 5 LSU, 24-4. Amazingly enough. All right, 7 o'clock tonight on ESPN, Game 3, number 5 LSU, number 2 Florida. LSU's ace should be going for them tonight in this game. Paul Skenes. LSU's favorite, -140. Florida's +116. Over under 8.5. Overs -132. Unders even money. LSU -1/2 is +122. Florida +1/2 is -160. I like the full game under at even money. I don't think that Florida will have that outburst again, and I could see this being a 5-3 game, a 4-3 game, or something like that. I like the under, and I think LSU gets it done tonight, bounces back from the 24-4 defeat to get it done. All right, now move on to golf. We'll go over results from the Travelers Championship. Your winner with a score of 23 under, Keegan Bradley, coming in second with the tie, 20 under. Brian Harmon and Zach Blair tied for fourth with 19 under. Patrick Cantlay, Chaz Reeve, Scotty Scheffler tied for seventh with 18 under. Rory McIlroy, Dylan McCarthy tied for ninth with 17 under. Minwoo Lee, Justin Thomas, Alex Smalley, Corey Connors tied for 13th with 16 under. Ricky Fowler and Hideki Matsuyama tied for 15th with 15 under. Doug Game, Lucas Herbert, Emiliano Grillo, and Carson Young tied for 19th with 14 under. Xander Schauffele, Shane Lowry, Grayson Sieg, Ryan Henley, Adam Scott tied for 24th with 13 under. Austin Eckroat, Jason Hadley, Aaron Ray, Eric Cole, and Ludwig Aberg tied for 29th with 12 under. Wyndham Clark, Victor Hovland, Zach Johnson, and Sanjay M tied for 33rd with 11 under. Ryan Palmer, Gary Woodland, Cam Davis, Luke List, Callum Tarrant tied for 38th with 10 under. Kelly Craft, Sepp Straka, Chad Ramey, Michael Kim, Tom Kim, Nate Hardy, and Kyle Reifers tied for 45th with 9 under. Davis Riley, Tony Finau, Jason Day, Andrew Putnam tied for 49th with 8 under. Russell Knox, Matt Fitzpatrick, and CAU tied for 52nd with 7 under. Sahith Theegala, Kevin Tway, Webb Simpson, and Sichung Du tied for 56th with 6 under. Justin Sue, Davis Lipsky, Harry Hall, and Brett Stigmeyer tied for 60th with 5 under. Harry English, Cam Young, Taylor Hogue. 63rd with 4 under is Ben Martin, tied for 64th with 3 under. Stefan Yeager and Andrew Savoda. 66th with 2 under. Ryan Blum. 67th with 2 over. Andrew Landry, and then the rest cut. Taylor Pendrith, Kevin Stroman, Dylan Wu, Bayo Hostler, Max Homa, J.T. Potson, Kurt Katayama, Lucas Hodges, Davis Thompson, Joseph Vermont, Colin Morikawa, Robert Strub, Seamus Power, Stuart Zink, Ben Ganon, Scott Stevens, Tomas Dietrich, Brendan Todd, Adam Schenk, Victor Norman, Peter Malnati, Mark Hubbard, John Robb, Tommy Flew, Charlie Hoffman, Hayden Buckley, Adam Long, Brendan Wu, Patrick Rogers, Sam Bennett, Sengu Kim, K.H. Lee, Martin Laird, Joaquin Herman, Sam Ryder, Doc Redman, Ben Griffin, Andrew Novak, Dylan Lingberg, J.J. Spawn, Justin Lauer, Max McGreevy, Austin Smotherman, Tyler Duncan, Adam Svensson, Cam Champ, Nate Lashley, Danny Willett, Lucas Griffin, Ben Taylor, Christian Ziedenhout, Nicholas Echeverria, Taylor Moore, Richie Wierenski, Trey Merritt, Lucas Glover, Trey Molinax, Francesco Molinari, James Hahn, Scott Stallings, Paul Haley, Nate Wadney, S.W. Kim, Robert Brent, Patton Kazir, Matthias Schwab, Ryan Ward, Brett Horschel, Matthew Neesmith, Robbie Shelton, Matt Wallace, Brandon Gay, Kramer Hickok, Michael Thorpe Jorson, Jason Duffner, Evan Van Royen, Matt Kuchar, Will Gordon, J.B. Holmes, Grayson Higo, Ben James, C.T. Pond, Yin Chun Yan, Jimmy Walker, Joel Dahman, Tyson Alexander, withdrawing Mackenzie Hughes, Scott Piercy, and then my pick of Kevin Kisner. So my 500-1 did not work out because he unfortunately withdrew. Next up, Rocket Mortgage Classic from Thursday to Sunday from Detroit on CBS. I'll have a pick for you for that on Wednesday's podcast. NASCAR. We'll go over the results from the weekend. We will start with the Truck Series from Nashville. Coming in first, Carson Hocevar. Second, Zane Smith. Third, Nick Sanchez. Third, Corey Heim. Or fourth was Corey Heim. Fifth was Bailey Curry. Sixth, Chase Purdy. Seventh, Matthew Benedetto. Eighth, Tyler Ankrum. Ninth, Ben Rhodes. 10th, Jeb Garcia. The rest, Tanner Gray, Jake Drew, Brian Effinger, Taylor Gray. Tanner Gray came in 11th. Matt Crafton, 15th. The rest, Timmy Hill, Tony Bredinger, Stuart Friesen, Nick Leitz, Mason Maggio, Corey Roper, Daniel Dye, Christian X, Jonathan Schaefer, Spencer Boyd, Chase Janes, Lane Riggs, Haley Deegan, Colby Howard, Jack Wood, Ty Majeski, Raja Caruth, Dean Thompson, Brett Holmes, Memphis Phil Real, and Lawless Allen. Xfinity. The winner of the race, A.J. Allmendinger, who was my pick to win the race. He was very undervalued, and I think this is the second time I hit an Xfinity pick this year, if I'm not mistaken. Second, Riley Herbst. Third, Sam Meyer. Fourth, Austin Hill. Fifth, Josh Berry. Sixth, Jonathan Nemechek. Seventh, Zane Smith. Eighth, Daniel Hemrick. Ninth, Cole Custer. 10th, Parker Retzlaff. The rest, Parker Kligerman, Chandler Smith, Jeb Burton, Brett Moffitt, Justin Allgaier, Kaz Gralla, Sheldon Craig, Kyle Weatherman, Ryan Sieg, Brendan Poole, Joe Graff Jr., Jeremy Clements, Anthony Alfredo, Brandon Jones, Kyle Sieg, Blaine Perkins, Jeffrey Earnhardt, Ryan Ellis, Chad Chastain, David Starr, Joey Gase, Mason Massey, Josh Williams, Sammy Smith, Connor Mozak, Carson Hocevar, Ty Gibbs, and Stephon Parsons. And the Cup Series from Nashville, your winner, Ross Chastain, coming in second, Martin Truex Jr., third, Denny Hamlin, fourth, Chase Elliott, fifth, Kyle Larson, sixth, William Byron, seventh, Chris Bell, eighth, Eric Jones, ninth, Kyle Busch, 10th, A.J. Allmendinger. The rest, Brad Keselowski, Daniel Suarez, Austin Dillon, Ty Gibbs, Bubba Wallace, Ryan Preece, Alex Bowman, Chris Buescher, Joey Logano, Corey LaJoie, Harrison Burton, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Justin Haley, Kevin Harvick, Eric Almirola, Noah Gragson, Austin Cindric, Michael McDowell, J.J. Yeley, Tyler Riddick, who I believe was my pick, Chase Briscoe, Ty Dillon, Brennan Poole, Josh Bilicki, Todd Gilliland, and Ryan Blaney. So next NASCAR, we have Saturday Xfinity from Chicago at 5 o'clock Eastern, and then 5:30 Eastern in Chicago on the big NBC on Sunday evening. All right, now move on to the NHL mock draft. Final 3 mock drafts in hockey, with the draft being on Wednesday. I don't think I'm going to do a preview show. But I'll have my big board and whatnot to judge. Number 1, the Chicago Blackhawks, Connor Bedard, center, Regina, WHL. It's a no-brainer who the Blackhawks will take first overall. Bedard is the best prospect since Connor McDavid. Will be a franchise building block in Chicago for years to come with his ability to rake up points and will bring much-needed hope to the franchise. 2, the Anaheim Ducks, Adam Fantilli, center, Michigan, NCAA. It felt like a no-brainer that Fantilli would be the choice here for the Ducks, but still are skeptical, amazingly enough. after rumors came out that he might go back to school his sophomore year. Fantilli would fit nicely with this young, talented Ducks core. Number 3, the Columbus Blue Jackets. Leo Carlsson, forward, or Rabo, Sweden. The Jackets have some options here, but the feeling is that they'll go with the versatile player in Carlsson. He is big and has good skill down low and gets through traffic well with his speed. 4, the San Jose Sharks. Will Smith, center, USA Under-18, NTDP. The Sharks have some options here and personally should go with the best player available. Smith has the potential to be a top-line center with his playmaking ability, which the Sharks have lacked over the past several years. 5, the Montreal Canadiens. Ryan Leonard, wing, USA Under-18, NTDP. Leonard is rising after the draft approaches this week, and he'd be an interesting addition to the Habs' young forward group. Leonard comes from a loaded team, and he is a good scorer and is a character guy, which everyone loves to have on their team. 6, the Arizona Coyotes. David Reinbacher, defenseman, EHC Cloton. The Coyotes have to be in the best player available mode too, and they get Reinbacher, who fits the bill. Reinbacher has the offensive upside, size, and mobility as he's the most league-ready D-man in the draft. 7, the Philadelphia Flyers. Matvei Michkov, wing, St. Petersburg, Russia. Michkov falling to the Flyers at 7 would be a steal for them, who is in dire of youth in their system. In any other year, he could have been the top pick in the draft, and if not for the long contract in Russia, he could have gone higher than this. 8, the Washington Capitals. Dalibor Dvorsky, center, AIK, Sweden. The Capitals can realistically go anywhere at the selection, but they should go with the best player available. Dvorsky has the ability to be a plug-and-play player and has a good hockey IQ. 9, the Detroit Red Wings. Zach Benson, wing, Winnipeg, WHL. Benson is somebody whose draft stock is rising to the point that people had Benson mocked to the Red Wings with their second first-rounder. Benson has excellent skill, IQ, and the motor to be successful. 10, the St. Louis Blues. Tom Willander, defenseman, Rogel Jr., Sweden Jr. The Blues with their first pick of the round land a solid, fast-rising D-man in Willander, and it would make sense here to recruit decidedly in trade rumors. He is a solid two-way guy that is very mobile and has the pedigree teams like. 11, the Vancouver Canucks. Nate Danielson, center, Brendan, WHL. The Canucks get a center prospect here in Danielson, which they can use after trading away Bo Horvat. Danielson has a great tools kit, is a character guy that teams love, and has great all-around play. 12, the Arizona Coyotes from the Ottawa Senators. Oliver Moore, forward, USA Under-18, NTDP. With their second first-rounder, the Coyotes take the fast-rising forward and Moore. His speed is blazing, and he is versatile, and this would be an ideal pick for the Coyotes with Clayton Keller in trade rumors. 13, the Buffalo Sabres. Dmitry Simashev, defenseman, Yaroslavl Jr., Russia Jr. The Sabres here grab a solid D-man in Simashev to add to their collection of defense prospects. Simashev has the ability to be a great defenseman with some offensive game too. 14, the Pittsburgh Penguins. Matthew Wood, wing, Yukon, NCAA. This would be a good pick for the Pens as they are a team that needs some youth in their system. Wood is a power forward type of player with a ton of high-end skill. 15, the Nashville Predators. Quentin Mutsi, wing, Sudbury, OHL. With the first of 2 first-round picks, the Preds take a super fast-rising prospect in Mutsi. He is unafraid to throw his body around and is great in front of the net, and he can beat defenders well too. 16, the Calgary Flames. Samuel Honzek, wing, Vancouver, WHL. Honzek is somebody whose draft stock was dropping a few weeks ago. Honzek has a lot of upside, is super physical, and moves well and could get to the net as teams thinking can be convert to center. 17, the Detroit Red Wings from the New York Islanders via the Vancouver Canucks. Axel Sundin Palika, defenseman, Skellefteå Jr., Sweden. This would be a solid pick for the Red Wings as they can use some young defensemen. Sundin Palika is a good puck handler and can guide an offense. 18, the Winnipeg Jets. Brandon Yeager, center, Moose Jaw, WHL. The Jets are a real blow-it-up candidate this offseason, so best player available should be the way they go in the draft. Yeager is somebody that could slip out of the first round due to his height and lack of scoring stance, having a quick shot. 19, the Chicago Blackhawks from the Tampa Bay Lightning. Gabriel Perreault, wing, USA Under-18, NTDP. Here's another NTDP player off the board in Peralt. He played on the top line on the loaded NTDP team and has a good shot. He's a solid puck handler and is a good passer. 20, the Seattle Kraken, Colby Barlow, wing, in OHL. The Kraken are a team that aren't too far away from being a contender in the West after the season they had. Barlow is somebody that is a terrific scorer with a good shot and is a good defender too. 21, the Minnesota Wild, Callum Ritchie, forward, Oshawa, OHL. The Wild can use some center depth in their system, and here they land Ritchie. He's a good all-around player that can score and pass and is reliable in all three zones. 22, the Philadelphia Flyers from the Los Angeles Kings via the Columbus Blue Jackets. Oliver Bonk, defenseman, London, OHL. With their second first-round pick, the Flyers go defense here at Bonk. He's a big mobile puck mover and would fit well with the Flyers. 23, the New York Rangers. David Edstrom, center, Ferland Jr., Sweden Jr. This would be a good pick for the Rangers who need depth in their system. Edstrom is a good two-way player that can skate and has good size. 24, the Nashville Predators from the Edmonton Oilers. Otto Stenberg, forward, Frölunda, HC, SHL. With their second first-rounder, the Oilers get the versatile forward in Stenberg. Or the Predators. I wrote down Oilers by mistake. My bad. He's a strong player and has a good wrist shot. 25, the St. Louis Blues from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Edward Sale, wing, Bruno Chezia. With their second first-rounder, the Blues get the forward in Sale. He's somebody that many feel is polarizing, and he has great hands. 26, the San Jose Sharks from the New Jersey Devils. Daniil Boot, wing, Loko Yaroslavo, OHL. With their second first-rounder, the Sharks take the rising forward in Boot. He's a great shot and is a force on the boards and down low, but is not the best skater. 27, the Colorado Avalanche, Gavin Brindley, forward, Michigan, NCAA. The Avs can use some youth in their system, and here I have them taking the talented forward in Brindley. He's a versatile player that has speed and a good scoring touch. 28, the Toronto Maple Leafs from the Boston Bruins via the Washington Capitals. Mikhail Guliev, defenseman, Omsk Jr., Russia. The Leafs have options here, and here I have them grabbing the D-man. Guliev excels on offense and is a good skater. 29, the St. Louis Blues from the Dallas Stars via the New York Rangers. Andrew Cristall, wing, Kelowna, WHL. With their third first rounder, the Blues go with another forward. Cristall is an offensive machine that has great vision and ability. 30, the Carolina Hurricanes. Bradley Nadeau, wing, Pentagon, BCHL. The Hurricanes take a super fast rising prospect here in Nadeau with their lone first rounder. Nadeau ripped out the BCHL with points, and if you do it against better competition, the Canes have another successful draft pick. 31, the Montreal Canadiens from the Florida Panthers. Ethan Gauthier, wing, Sherbrooke, QMJHL. With their second first rounder, I have the Habs going with Gauthier. He is someone that has established himself as a goal scorer, and power forward status fits him well. And 32, the Vegas Golden Knights. Danny Nelson, center, USA Under 18, NTDP. The Golden Knights take a safe bet prospect here with Nelson. He is very athletic and has good physical tools and is good in the face-off department, and he has good size. All right, so there you have it for news for the NHL mock draft. Now will be news and notes. Getting a little ahead of myself here today. So we're going to start with basketball because basketball is the hot spot right now. The Atlanta Hawks have been pursuing a Pascal Siakam trade as they are trying to convince Toronto to part with Siakam. I think Siakam gets traded this offseason. I just don't know where. I predicted New York before the offseason started. Atlanta's a good fit. Maybe Trae Young for Siakam. That's a fun trade. I just came up with that. That's a good one. And maybe with some other stuff going back in both directions. Tobias Harris's dad calls out the 76ers as Terrell Harris says that Philly isn't properly utilizing his son as an assassin scorer. That comes from the Business of Sports podcast. There's a wild asking price for Tobias. Says the Sixers wanted a package of Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, and a draft pick for Harris. That's way too much for Tobias Harris. Way too much. That's like a starting package for Joel Embiid, for crying out loud. Like, not Tobias. That's insane. The Suns wanted a 3-team Ayton trade, as they wanted Philly to facilitate a multi-team trade for Tobias, where a third team takes Ayton. And now it looks like they're keeping Ayton to go with that star-studded group. The Grizzlies had interest in Draymond Green, as they were planning on to pursue him before trading for Marcus Smart. And the Dubs are confident in keeping Green, and they can retain him on a multi-year deal. Naz Reid signs extension, 3 years, $42 million with the Wolves. That is a really good contract extension given out by the Wolves. Dylan Brooks seeking over $12.4 million, as he wants a deal more than the mid-level exception. The Knicks signed Jacob Toppin to a contract as an undrafted free agent. The NBA Summer League schedule came out, and Spurs Hornets is on opening night. So Wemby versus Brandon Miller. The Knicks and Josh Hart to extend deadline, as they extended the $12.9 million contract option to Thursday. Chet hopeful for Summer League, as they are optimistic that Holmgren will play in the Summer League after missing last season with the foot injury. I think he needs Summer League if he's healthy, personally, just so he can get his feet under a little bit. So, draft expert Jonathan Westman says that Bronny James is not a big-time athlete and projects as a late first-round pick until he proves himself. I honestly think that Bronny James is going to come in to the season as the most overhyped prospect in some time, just because of his name. I'm not saying he's a bad basketball player, but he's just not going to be his father, and the media needs to realize that. He's not his father, and he'll never be his father. Victor Wembanyama to skip the FIBA World Cup, as he said he won't play for France as he prepares a rookie NBA season. That is the right call, in my opinion, for Wemby. Damian Lillard went IG Live Friday night, and the song playing in the background was Will Smith's Miami. Ooh, does that say something? Paolo Banchero joins Team USA for the FIBA World Cup. Team USA is pretty good. Not a lot of superstar players, but there's a lot of like next tier guys like Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges and guys like that. I'm interested to see how the roster plays out. We have a lot of stuff. The big baseball story from the weekend, Aaron Judge says that his ligament is torn, as he reveals he is still in pain walking, as the Yankees initially said toe ligament was sprained. Well, it's torn. The Yankees doctors are one of the worst in sports. They've misguided injuries every year. I understand a lot of team doctors misevaluate injuries, but nobody does it more than this organization. Brian Cashman and Hal Steinbrenner, well, really Hal, need to consider getting rid of the medical staff and hiring a whole new medical staff. This is ridiculous. Aaron Judge can sue the Dodgers all he wants, and he has every right to do so, because that concrete might cost the Yankees a playoff spot, let alone a potential playoff run. That stupid turf in Dodger Stadium is going to potentially cost the Yankees a chance to make a big run, and it might force them to make some hard decisions at the trade deadline. I know they just won 2 games from the Rangers, and they went 4-2 on their homestand. Schedule gets easier. But this is Aaron Judge we're talking about. This is your freaking team. Your franchise guy. This is your Patrick Mahomes. This is your Stephen Curry. This team is bad without him. I understand they just won that series against Texas and won a series against Seattle. But this offense is terrible without Aaron Judge, considering how poorly guys like Giancarlo Stanton and G.J. LeMahieu, Gleyber Torres, Anthony Volpe hasn't lived up to the hype. So this offense stinks without Aaron Judge. I know they came up through yesterday, but I need to see it to believe it. And I understand how impressive that was considering it the opponent in Texas. But I am not high on this team whatsoever. And I wonder what the odds are for them to miss the postseason at this point. And I don't think they're a minus because they're the Yankees and everybody loves the Yankees. And they went 4-2 on their homestand, and their schedule gets easier. But I want to see, once the easy part of their schedule comes to a close, if, say, they go 4-2 against the Cardinals and the A's, maybe even a little better than that because the A's are terrible. And I understand the A's just beat the Rays, or they beat somebody good over the weekend, the Blue Jays, once. I want to see what those odds are for them to miss the postseason. I understand the Astros have been disappointing too. And they didn't have Altuve early on, but they've been struggling with Altuve, amazingly enough. Aaron Judge is a more valuable player than Jose Altuve. You would have thought if Justin Verlander stayed in Houston, he would have been pitching a little bit better. I would say so. But yeah. Not good times for the New York Yankees right now, despite a 4-2 homestand. Derek Jeter made his debut on Fox, and he roasted David Ortiz. And David Ortiz gave Jeter a Sox jersey, and it was never seen again. And then Aaron Boone had an odd quote on Judge. He refused to say for sure that Judge would return this season after the news of the torn ligament. And that's what I was referring to when I was talking about the Yankees a minute ago. The Baltimore Orioles call up infield prospect Jordan Westburg and is expected to play tonight against the Reds. So that is awesome. Ellie De La Cruz actually hit for the cycle. That is pretty cool. Freddie Freeman got his 2000th hit. Justin Verlander is a face of a meme now, which was funny. Twins manager Rocco Baldelli tossed on a hot mic and got his second ejection in 3 games. Julio Rodriguez back in the home run derby. He says, let's run it back. But Aaron Judge does expect to be back this season. Can't make any promises on a timeline, but expects to be back from toe injury this season. So we're going to see what happens. He obviously is not going to repeat his MVP or come close to the home run total he had last year. But if he's back in August and say the Yankees are in a wild card spot or close to the playoffs, then maybe they get in as the third wild card or something. We'll see. So there was a trade over the weekend as Eduardo Escobar was traded from the Mets to the Angels in exchange for 2 minor league right-handed pitchers. And the Angels acquire Mike Moustakas also, and righty Connor Van Scoyoc is going to the Rockies in the deal. And that was after it was reported that the Mets are willing to spend for arms as they are ready to pick up costly contracts at pitching without parting ways with top prospects. Deion Sanders had successful surgery, as his girlfriend Tracy Edmonds says he is resting and doing great after emergency surgery for blood clots in his legs. 4-star running back Jerick Gibson commits to Texas over Georgia, Alabama, Miami, and Tennessee. Dalvin Cook liked the tweet yesterday, fueling Patriots rumors. Commander sale likely July 20th as the league schedules a special meeting where owners are expected to approve the sale. Melvin Gordon says playing running back sucks, as he says running back is the worst position to play in the NFL right now amid brutal market. Daniel Jones was at a Zach Bryan concert, and he was trolled by Zach Bryan, as Zach Bryan said, "Go Birds." Obviously a big Eagles fan. That's not fun for Daniel Jones. Darren Waller says he's not shocked by the trade. He said he heard some things before Raiders sent him to the Giants. College basketball, West Virginia assistant Josh Eilert promoted to replace Bob Huggins as intern head coach. Could this be another Rodney Terry situation where he has a good season to the point where he keeps the job? I think it depends on a lot of things. So there's a lot of guys that are transferring out of that school. That school's a mess right now, unfortunately. And if they overachieve, he should be back. If not, then start searching for a new coach. So I think they're doing the right thing by just giving him the intern tag, because if they want a big guy, a big name coach to come in there, they need like a whole offseason to recruit and whatnot. So I understand why they did it. And two guys entered the portal, Trey Mitchell and Joe Toussaint. And Kier Kreisa was going to go into the portal, but he decided to go back and play for Josh Eilert. So we're going to see what happens with the Mountaineers. And it's not pretty. Some hockey news. Vegas nearing a 2-year, like a not over $9 million contract extension with Adin Hill. So that's good for Adin Hill. 4.9 annual, so almost $5 million annually. So good for Adin Hill getting that extension done in Vegas. The Canes extend Jordan Staal 4 years. 2.5 annually, so that will come to 4 for almost 11.5. I think that is too much in years, but I think the price is pretty good. The Kings trade one of their key defensemen to the Arizona Coyotes. Sean Durzi for a 2024 second-round pick. I think that's a good pickup for the Coyotes, as they need some defense. And the Kings obviously need to clear some cap room for some things to get done. The Devils re-signed Eric Holla to a 3-year, over $3 million contract extension. So 3 years, about $9.5 million to New Jersey, making over $3 million a year. So good on the Devils re-signing a key piece from last year, or last season. Preds make the trade with the Avs as Nashville acquires Alex Galchenyuk from Colorado in exchange for Ryan Johansson, with the Preds retaining 50% of the Johansson contract. So center for center. And it would have been a, oh my God, trade 10 years ago. But both of these guys are not the same guys as they were back then. Brianna Jones out for the year with the ruptured Achilles. That is brutal news for the Connecticut Sun. Brutal. Mercury fire Vanessa Nygaard after 2-10 start. Nikki Blue named interim coach. So the first coach fired right out of the gate, Vanessa Nygaard. That's just a mess of a team. Brittany Griner, not that it's Brittany's fault. I think the player should be held responsible just as the coach, but Brittany's presence obviously has been somewhat of a distraction, I think, to this team in a way. And media and She had into another incident a few weeks ago. So a lot of turmoil with the Phoenix Mercury. And obviously Matt Ishbia, who owns that team too, is just being impatient as a new owner in a way. The WNBA All-Stars were listed. The starters, Aja Wilson and Brianna Stewart, your captains, and it's Arike Ogunbowale, Aaliyah Boston, Jewel Lloyd, Brittany Griner, Chelsea Gray, Nneka Ogwumike, Sadu Sabali, and Jackie Young. So well-deserved for a lot of them. I think Sabrina Ionescu was sort of robbed on here. I know she was hurt a little bit, but I would have put her on the list as well. The USA to host Club World Cup as FIFA's expanded 32 Club Championship will take place in our country in 2025, so that's awesome. Inter Miami signs Busquets. Messi is reunited with Sergio Busquets. So that's pretty cool. So Inter Miami, we'll talk about them in a second. Toronto fires Bob Bradley after less than 2 seasons in charge. So coaching change in MLS. So Bob Bradley out in Toronto, who replaces him. It's going to be interesting to see who. And something really funny over the weekend. A Messi fan went 1,200 miles to Philadelphia to watch Leo play against the Union, but he won't be playing in Major League Soccer until July. The Union caught this and posted it to their Twitter feed, so that was actually pretty funny. And in breaking news coming from Andrew Marchand, right now some TV news. Tiki Barber will do a full slate of NFL games on CBS, while Jason McCourty will analyze some. So that's according to the New York Post. As WFAN in New York is having a daytime shake-up with Tiki doing the CBS role now. Brandon Tierney now is going to be partnered with somebody else. So will Evan Roberts. And Craig Carton. Oh, wait, Tiki Barber, I think, is going to be with Evan Roberts, actually. And Craig Carton left WFAN for a big show on Fox. Alrighty. Last but not least, my best bet of the day, brought to you by FanDuel. I know it was a long news and notes today. It was a weekend, so we had to do it a little longer. So, best bet from Friday was a loser. So, 8-2 in the last 2 weeks for best bet. So, that's pretty awesome. There was a couple of picks that jumped out to me in terms of best bet, but one jumped out more than the most, and that was the over 8.5 with whole unit, even money between the White Sox and the Angels. Over 8.5, even money. Reed Detmer still in season. Neither guy has wowed the world this year. And the Angels' offense has seemed to be humming a little bit. So I'm going to go over 8.5, even money, banking on Trout and Ohtani to play to the back of their baseball cards. And even bank on some of the White Sox guys coming up big as well. So, hope you guys have a great day, everybody.